I mean, just like it's all effort, it's all God. By the way, like first of all, most I got to thank Him, and I got to credit my teammates and the coverage team as well. They covered their butts off, and the rush was able to come home. So it was a team, it was a collective. It wasn't just my performance; it was the whole team. I couldn't do it without them, and Didi couldn't do it without me. So
Preseason football isn't supposed to make grown men cry. It isn't supposed to produce goosebump moments or promises that sound like they belong in a war movie. But that's exactly what happened in Detroit this week. And if you're a Lions fan, you need to sit down for this one. Because what just came out of the mouth of one hungry, undersized, overlooked rookie pass rusher might be the most emotional soundbite to come out of Allen Park in years. Before we dive in, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right now. Detroit Scope is on a mission to hit 1,000 subscribers, and every single one of you watching right now can help make that happen. It costs nothing. It takes 2 seconds, and it means everything to a small channel trying to grow. Okay, now let's get into it. The Lions preseason opener wasn't supposed to be must-watch television. Preseason football rarely is. Starters play a series or two, backups get their auditions, and everybody moves on with their lives by halftime. But buried in the second and third quarters of that opener, something happened that had Lions fans sitting up straight. A rookie defensive lineman, a guy who wasn't a top pick, wasn't a household name, wasn't even fully healthy through last year, got home on Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. Not a hurry, not a hit, a sack on Joe Burrow, one of the best quarterbacks on the planet. A guy who just led Cincinnati deep into relevance behind one of the most explosive offenses in football, taken down behind the line of scrimmage by a Lions rookie who has spent the better part of a year fighting just to be seen. And when the cameras found him after the game, what came out wasn't your typical cliché-loaded post-game interview. It was raw. It was emotional. It was, frankly, exactly the kind of story the city of Detroit has fallen in love with under Dan Campbell. The rookie didn't hesitate to spread the credit around. He talked about effort, about faith, about his teammates on the coverage unit who bought him the extra half second he needed to get home. He made it clear, in his own words, that sacking Joe Burrow wasn't a solo act. It was a full team effort, the coverage holding up in the secondary while the rush closed and up front. That kind of team-first mentality has become something of a signature for this Lions locker room, and it's clearly rubbing off on the newest faces in the building. But then the conversation shifted, and things got real. The interviewer didn't waste time pointing out the obvious storyline. Lions fans have been desperate, genuinely desperate, for years to find somebody who can rush the passer opposite Aiden Hutchinson. It's been the single biggest question mark on this Detroit roster since Hutchinson emerged as a true difference maker. The front office has tried draft picks, free agents, reclamation projects. Solutions have come and gone. But that guy, the true, sustained answer on the other side, has remained elusive. So when this rookie was asked point blank whether sacking Joe Burrow gives him the confidence that he could be the answer everyone's been searching for, he didn't blink. He said he believes he can be that guy. Not hopes, not wishes, believes. He talked about how hard he's worked to get to this point, how the confidence isn't manufactured. It's earned through the kind of obsessive preparation that doesn't show up on a highlight reel. But he was also careful, almost instinctively humble, to make clear this isn't about taking anything away from Hutchinson. He was quick to say Hutchinson earned every bit of the respect and role he is on this team, and that the rookie himself still has to go out and do the same. Through the grind, through the film study, through stacking good days on top of good days. It's a mindset that sounds almost old school in a league obsessed with instant gratification. Earn it, don't assume it. Then came the moment that turned this from a solid post-game interview into something fans are still talking about. When asked whether the sack got him emotional, he didn't dodge the question. He admitted it did. And he explained why in a way that hit differently. He talked about the frustration of sitting around, waiting, watching from the sidelines after suffering an injury during last year's preseason. He talked about how that injury lingered in his mind, how he manifested this exact moment, repeating to himself, almost like a mantra, that he was going to sack Joe Burrow. Not just hoping for a good game, not just wanting to make the roster, specifically visualizing getting to the Bengals franchise quarterback and finishing the job. And then he went out and did it. There's something almost poetic about that kind of manifestation paying off in real time, on national television, in the very city that has built its modern football identity around grit, resilience, and refusing to be counted out. This is a rookie who understands what it means to fight for an opportunity most people assumed would never come. And he made it clear this isn't about entitlement. He talked about never wanting to take a single day in that building for granted, about the platform this opportunity gives him to provide for his family and represent where he comes from. That's not agent-approved, media-trained talk. That's a guy who has clearly been through enough adversity to know exactly what this chance is worth. And then there's Dan Campbell. If there's one storyline that has defined this Lions era more than any single player, it's the culture Campbell has built. The tough love, the brutally honest coaching style, the refusal to sugarcoat anything, wrapped in a genuine emotional investment in his players that has turned Detroit into one of the most beloved locker rooms in football. This rookie confirmed all of it. He said flatly that he wants a coach who tells him the truth 100% of the time, not most of the time, and that Campbell delivers exactly that. No sugarcoating, no spin, just the truth, straight, every single time. But it hasn't all been sunshine. He admitted there have been moments of real tension, Campbell getting on him hard in team meetings, yelling at him more than once for staying on the field while injured instead of getting himself checked out. And instead of resenting it, the rookie says he loves that about his head coach. He called it what a great coach is supposed to do. He said, without hesitation, that Campbell might be the best coach he's ever played for, and that the two of them have built a real relationship in a short amount of time, one he's genuinely grateful for. And that's where the story circles back to the moment everyone in Detroit remembers, draft night. When this rookie was selected by the Lions, he made a promise to Dan Campbell on the spot that he would die for him. At the time, it sounded like the kind of emotional, in-the-moment hyperbole that gets said on draft night and forgotten by training camp. But sitting in this interview, months later, he doubled down on every word of it. He said he wasn't kidding. He said he meant it literally, that if Campbell ever needed someone in his corner, in the darkest, hardest moment imaginable, he wants to be the one Campbell calls. Not because he has to, because he wants to be there, no matter what, no questions asked. He even revealed that this isn't some new personality trait invented for a highlight reel quote. He said he had that exact same relationship with his college coach at Boise State, the kind of loyalty and trust that goes both ways. And he made it clear that this is simply who he is. When he builds that kind of bond with a coach, with teammates, he shows up for them fully, on the field and off it. That's the mentality he's bringing into a Lions locker room that has thrived on exactly that brand of brotherhood under Campbell. So where does this leave the Lions heading deeper into training camp and toward the 2026 regular season? It leaves them with a legitimate, tangible flicker of hope at one of the most scrutinized positions on the roster. The pass rush opposite Hutchinson has been the missing piece for years, and while one preseason sack on Joe Burrow doesn't guarantee anything, this is still a young player who has openly said he hasn't earned a spot on the 53-man roster yet, who knows the coach's trust has to be built play by play, rep by rep. It's the kind of moment that gets a fan base's hopes up for good reason. The talent flashed, the motive flashed, and most importantly, the mentality flashed. This is a player who has already shown he's willing to put his body on the line, who talks about wanting to help this team chase a Super Bowl, and who has bought all the way into the culture Dan Campbell has spent years building in Detroit. Nothing is decided yet. The 53-man roster battle is still ongoing, and preseason performances, no matter how emotional or impressive, don't guarantee anything once the real games begin. But if this is a sign of things to come, Lions fans might finally be looking at the answer they've been begging for opposite Aiden Hutchinson. And if that ends up being true, this preseason sack on Joe Burrow might be remembered as the very first chapter of something much bigger. That's the story for today, Lions fans. This channel, Detroit Scope, is built entirely around bringing you breakdowns exactly like this one. Fast, honest, and straight from the source. We are closing in on 1,000 subscribers, and we genuinely can't get there without you. So if this video gave you even a little bit of that Lions hope, do us a huge favor. Hit subscribe, drop a comment telling us if you think this rookie can really be the answer at pass rusher, and share this with another Lions fan who needs to hear this story. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this growing community, and we'll see you in the next one.